Hey, so let's keep going with some strength work for cycling. But as per usual, if you've been on your bike, you're probably a little tight in different places. So we're always going to start each session with just a little bit of mobility and things that we know that are directly going after the tightness that comes in a body. So we're going to start with your feet outside of hip width, arms comfortably on the ground. And when you come into that happy hip position, I just want to really reiterate, you want that down the middle of your body. So you don't want it way up here. That's a short hip. So keep your hip nice and long in the happy hips and just kind of gently move through that range of motion. Upper body kind of moves in conjunction with it, and just gently drop that knee to the middle. This is happy hips number 1. Good. And if it feels tight, don't force it. Just kind of, it'll come to us. We're going to foam roll a little bit next. So just happy hips. Let's go 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And let's go ahead and take that right in through the rib cage, because tight lats, tight upper back, if you've been in the saddle for a long time, can play a big role in that. So in this movement, we're going to do the same lower body action, but now we're going to take the rib cage and bring it all the way across. And with a nice long lat, long hip, you're going to end up really getting that psoas muscle in all those hip flexors. So just happy hips number 2. Reach through that rib cage. Bring the ribs all the way across. Pull the hip through with your rib cage as it comes across. You should feel that all the way up in your belly. You can use your breath a little bit. In through that. Couple more. Let's go 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Little bit of reactive foam rolling. So grab your foam roller. We're going to go ahead and just sit on the foam roller. Take that right into those sits bones, and you can just kind of work gently through the sits bones. But we really want to go after lateral hip. So let's just go lateral hip here, and we don't have to do much. We're moving into a session. So if it's a little spicy, let's just move through the spicy spots. If you find you have one spot that's super tight and really painful, I want you to kind of move above it and hold, and then just go below it and hold. Because that spicy spot, is typically a victim. It's not necessarily something we want to push really hard on. So just push above it, push below it, and let's hit the other side. So we're just spending about 20 to 30 seconds going through just some little self-massage using the foam roller, just looking to heat up the tissue, warm up the tissue. And I want to introduce you to a new tool. I'm sure you either have one or it's found its way behind the couch. I want you to get this back out. So we're just working lateral hips here. And just put that foam roller to the side for a second. And this little trigger point ball, and they come in all shapes and sizes, but it needs to be about the size of a grapefruit. If it's much smaller, the surface area is just a little bit too pinny, and it might be a little bit too intense. For a while there, we were all using lacrosse balls. So I want to take that right down the middle of the lower leg, right between those 2 gastroc muscles. So we start it down where there's really deep posterior tib, but for the most part, it's connective tissue right below the calf muscle. And then we're going to take it right up through the center, And you can floss, push, flex, and extend through there. And that's a little nerve stretch to make sure that you're getting good foot function. And good foot function is always a good thing. So just nice and easy, work all through the bottom part of the calf, and let's just hit the other side. And if you don't have one of these balls, just use your foam roller to kind of accomplish the same thing. The only thing you really can't get is that really center line between the gastroc. So just kind of working through that whole area, get the tissue nice and warm at that connection between the lower leg connective tissue and the muscle of the gastroc. So right there, point and flex. We'll do a little flossing, maybe 10 or 15. We'll do 10. Good. And just finish that up with a little bit of extra rolling. Okay, excellent. All right, next thing I want to do is introduce you to a little bit of foundation training. We're going to do a little bit of that today. If you have a hat on, you can't wear your hat for this one because your forehead is going to go directly into the ground. So onto your mat, you're going to put your forehead onto the ground. Your face will be straight down. It gives us a nice long neck. From here, we're going prone decompression breathing. So I want you to set your anchor nice and strong. That means your knees are together, your toes are together, and your heels are apart, 3 to 4 inches. Your fingertips are strong into the ground, and your forehead is going to be strong into the ground. So go ahead and put your forehead down. Don't watch me anymore. You're going to listen. And what I want you to do from here is with your big breath, I want you to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And I want to hear both ways. And as you do that, keep breathing, keep your head down. I want you to expand your rib cage, and I want you to feel that through your lats. So your arms are really, really far away from you, a little bit to 45 degrees, splayed out to the side. Forehead is straight down, and we're just working our breath. Squeeze those knees nice and tight and set that anchor really strong. Now at this point, see if you can reach your hands a little bit further away from your shoulders. From here, take a look. You're going to take your thumbs to your shoulders. Keep your elbows. See if you can drop them down just a little bit to the level of your hands. Pull your shoulders away from your ears and just keep looking down, but don't have your forehead on the ground anymore. Squeeze that upper back. Squeeze your knees nice and strong. 2 big breaths here. On your second exhale, take those hands into that very long position again. Give me 2 breaths, forehead is on the mat. And one more time. Thumbs come to the shoulders, head lifts off the mat, chest comes up just a little bit. Squeeze those knees, and we're going to leave your feet on the ground. 2 more big breaths here. Good. Drop your hands to the ground. Push straight up. Let those knees come underneath of you and just push your hips back. Reach your hands out in front of you and into a child's pose position. Just kind of folding that lower body into itself. All right, from right here, we did this in the last session or the session before this one. We're offsetting the knees by 3 inches. Spread the fingers out, and we're just gliding front and back. This is important for us because this really starts to mobilize that SI joint in the back of the hips. So if you take a look at the screen, you're going to see my hips are rotating. I'm not trying to do anything. It's just by virtue of that offset hip, we start to decouple the hips and let them function independently in your pelvis as two different pieces. Spread the fingers out, switch to the other leg. We'll just go back and forth. We don't need a lot of these. You don't need to go too far to the front or too far to the back. We're just moving gently through that SI joint. 5 glides. All right, good. So we started and we went through a little bit of foam rolling, a little bit of mobility, and what we're going to do now is go ahead and get, if you want to wear your hat again, like I do, go ahead and put that back on, and go ahead and grab a wide stance. And from right here, we're just creating space. This space is going to be massively important to our ability to get more enhanced glute function. So let's work a little bit of standing decompression breathing. Square up your feet by turning them in and taking the outsides of your feet and making them parallel. Drop your hips to the back about 2 inches. Nice and long through your chest and through your neck. So long this way and then long this way as well. Working our breath, keeping the space between the rib cage and the hips. Now, we're going to work rotation today. So I want you to put your hands on your hip bones, and you're moving as one piece through your upper body, and we're gently dipping one shoulder down, but all that movement is being initiated from the hips. So from here, this hip drops, this hip drops. This is called hip decoupling. And this just kind of plays right into that movement we did with the gliding. So let's say you're riding your bike, you've got 2 hours in and you stop for a coffee. This is a great thing. Drive those hips to the back to just make sure that those hips are still moving together. That's it. A couple more. Good and good. And shake that out. All right, next one, we're going to go into a woodpecker series. And this is a little bit more relevant to us as cyclists because of the hip decoupling, but this plays very well for runners as well. It plays well for really quite any sport. So from right here, we're going to go into a nice comfortable split stance. Both hips are facing forward. Take that nice big breath. We're going to start with a little bit of lunge decompression. So right here, we're at about 50-50 weight distribution. We're not loaded to the front. 50-50 weight distribution, nice and strong. Float your hands to your heart. And we're just going to rotate, and I'm only rotating because my back hip is coming across. The arms work as one piece through the upper body. From right here, you just kind of reach nice and high. Let your hands be right at the level of the baseball cap bill or your forehead if you don't have one. And we're just going to work our breath. And then we unwind the hips. The upper body follows. Hands finish at the front. Good. So we 50-50 weight distribution. Nice big breath. Float the hands to the heart. The back hip is going to rotate across. Upper body follows. And then we just add that nice breath. We'll go 3 breaths here. Take the hip back, let the hands come back to the heart, shake that out. All right, let's go right leg in front of left. Now we're gonna load up the front leg just a little bit more. Okay, into the big toe, nice big breath, big toe on your lead leg. This lead leg is gonna stay quite strong and long. The habit of a cyclist is going to be to want to load the quad and bend the knee. I want you to stay really, really tall here. Float the hands to the front and push forward just a little bit from that position. Bring your hands right back into short wing, and you're just going to rotate gently across. 2, so my upper body is just following my low body. 3, 4, thinking a little bit about that anchoring that is happening in the lead leg. 5. So as I rotate across, I want you to anchor in with your lead leg. Activate adductors. Good. And 10. Good. Come back in a long wing. Change legs. Nice big breath. Float the hands to the heart. Little bit of forward translation here. Once you load up that lead leg. So I've got 70 to 80% of my weight on my lead leg. Come back into short wing. Nice strong position. Back hip. Anchor in on that lead leg. That means we're activating in. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, one more, and 10. Hands come back to long wing, and then just come on under there. Good. So the woodpecker can really start through that position, getting us into a decoupled hip position, which is all of a sudden going to give us access to that lateral hip, that lateral glute muscle, the glute med. So working on anchoring, working on strengthening and activating the inner thigh. I want you to grab the stability ball, put your feet outside the stability ball, and from right here, we're going to work the anchoring motion with a little bit of hip hinge. So your nice wide stance, drop the hips to the back, create some space. So you're staying nice and long and tall. And from right here, we're going to squeeze the knees into the ball for 5 seconds. Hold that nice and strong. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release it. Squeeze again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release it. Powerful adductors will allow us to really strengthen, squeeze it again, the abductors, that lateral glute muscle, that sometimes will get very inhibited and lazy as we're riding. Back out. 2 more of these. 5-second hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release it. Here we go again. Squeeze. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go one more time. Ready? Squeeze those knees in. Big breath. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. So those inner thighs are quite active right now. I want you to grab your number 2 kettlebell or dumbbell. That means it's your moderately loaded selection at home or in the gym. For me, this is typically anywhere from 12 to 17 and a half pounds. For a strong boy, it should be anywhere from 20 to 30 pounds for your moderately loaded. Okay, so just know if you're having an easier day, just go lighter. All right, what we're gonna do is a nice lateral step and reach. We add load and we're just coming right back. Let's go 15 of these. 2, right here when you land, keep this knee in. Anchor that lead landing leg in. 4, that's important. We want you to be able to touch your top tube with your inner thighs. We don't need you to live there, we don't need you to pedal there, but you need to be able to get there, and that's a strong anchor. 6, 7, drive your hips to the back. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, good, 14, and this shouldn't be that hard for you. 15, we're just warming up the lower body, getting ready for some squats. 1, 2, 3, 4, keep that lead leg in. It's gonna want to travel out. 5, keep it in. 6, 7, 8, stay with me. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, good. So as we work through the upper back, that's going to play a very important role with just position and comfort. So a lot of times for the lightweights, I just take 2 12-ounce bottles and fill them with water. So let's use the half kneeling position. We're going to work through a shoulder Y. So this is the position. This is a T. So right now we're at about 45 degrees out from the shoulders and we're working a Y. And it's going to help with shoulder blade position, long through your lats, comfortable and strong in your upper back. So we take this, which weighs just less than 2 pounds. Drop yourself down to a very similar hip angle where I would be on my bicycle. And from right there, we're just going to lift, hold, 1, 2, back down, hold, 1, 2, back down, 3, 1, 2, back down. We're doing 6 total. Hold, 2, 1, 2, hold, 1, 2. Good. We're just changing legs. We're going to stay with that 6 again. Drop that chest down. Your eyes might be in the same position that you would be on your bicycle. Hold, 1, 2, 1, 2, hold, 1, 2, 2 more. And 1 more. 1, 2. Good. Nice job. So let's just set those down. We will come back to that one more time. From right here, we're going to take your number 3 dumbbell. If you feel like going heavier, go for your number 4 dumbbell. You've had a good warm up. We're going to work into some squats. So we're working into a split squat now. So same thing, hips decoupled. We want to be strong in this position, okay? So this position right here, as soon as one foot goes to the back, like I would be in pedal length, pedal width, this hip drops just a little bit. So let's strengthen that using the number 3, our heavy dumbbell. We're just gonna go 8 reps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 more, 7, and 8. A little bit of active recovery. We're gonna let that energy system kind of rebuild itself. If your left leg was in front of your right, I want you to go ahead, stand on your left leg. We're gonna scoop from the bottom. We're going 5 single leg Supermans, totally unweighted. 1, 2, single leg stability and strength. 3, 4, get those hands up high. Last set or last rep. And 5. Good. So we've taken the time to mobilize those hips, so it shouldn't be tight and easy. All right, right back to right leg in front, other leg in front, split stance, great posture, 8 reps. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Set that down. Right leg stance, 5 single leg Supermans. Single leg stance. Scoop from the bottom. 1. 2. You should feel tension in your hamstring as you raise your arms up. 3. 4. And 5. Good. Shake that out. We're going to do one more set on each side. We're going to stick with that single leg Superman. But if you're trying to do single leg stability on a mat, it's going to be more challenging than if you were on a flat, stable surface. So I'm going to remove my unstable surface and get on the floor for the next one. All right. Left leg in front of right. Nice, strong posture. 8 reps. Second set should feel better than the first. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right. Shift that out of the way just a little bit. Let's go left leg stance. That was the foot that was in front. Feel the ground. Long arms, big reach. 2, 3, just 5, 4, and 5. Single leg Superman. Nice job. All right, let's hit that other side. Last set of squats. This is a split squat. Right leg in front of left. Float your back heel. Strong posture. 6, 7, and 8. And hopefully you can see my knees are tracking nice and narrow, right? That's the line where we want to get stronger. Ultimately, you're going to get stronger by riding your bike. Stronger, but this helps tissue tolerance, tissue resiliency, pedaling economy, all of the above. Right leg. Single leg Superman. 2, 3, 4. Last one. And 5. Okay, nice. So let's keep that mat kind of close. Grab your foam roller. And what we're going to do here is start from a full kneeling position. Double arm overhead with the foam roller. And what we want to see is this knee function coming through the middle to a full standing position, back to full kneeling. So you go from one side, stand up, right down the middle, right down the middle. Now what you might find yourself doing is this, rounding out to the side. Don't do that. Okay? Nice and strong, leading with the right leg, full kneel to stand. 8 reps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, nice big posture, reach up. 6, 7, and 8. Nice. Little bit of hip opener here. We're going to go both sides. So take that foot into a half kneeling position, take it out to 45 degrees, and we're just going to work a little bit of adductor stretch. 2, 3. So from right here, you kind of keep that chest going the other way. 5. Same thing other side. 1. Be gentle with this at first, and you can feel that little bit of movement, that little tug on your SI joint by adding load and length through that adductor. They all play together. 4. 1 more. And 5. Okay, good. 2 hands overhead. Last set of the day here. Arms overhead. Left leg coming all the way through. Full kneel to stand. 1. Bring that knee right through. 2. 3. Work your posture. 4. Got 8 reps. 5. 6. 7. Last one. 8. Good. Right back to that adductor stretch. Last thing of the day, we take that foam roller, keep it at chest height. This knee is at 45 degrees out from my hips. Knee goes one way, upper back goes the other. 5 reps. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Same thing other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 more. And 5. All right, so that's a pretty lower body focused session today. Hopefully you feel great. Go enjoy your ride.